All right, Gig'em247.com. Taylor Ham here with running backs coach for Texas A&M, Randy Jordan. Coach, for the first 2 weeks, the running game has been the focal point and emphasis of the offense so far. How would you kind of evaluate your squad and your unit so far through 2 weeks?
Well, I think the biggest things when you look at it is the fact that, we've had 2 games on our belt. There's a lot of things we got to clean up. We left a lot of yards, but it's good that we came out on the winning end, being 2-0 right now. So I'm not complaining, but there's a lot of things we got to clean up in terms of the inside zone game and our tracks and just little things that we got to clean up before we play a good team in Oklahoma State on Saturday afternoon.
What specifics do you need to clean up?
Well, I think the biggest thing is when you look at our outside zone, how it reads. We got to clean up that, the tempo of our running backs. It's not consistent. When we run our outside zone, which is a really big part of our game, we got to really set those linebackers so that the jokers and those guys can work their combination blocks to get up to the second level. And a lot of times we end up cutting back too quick and the linebacker ends up falling off. So we've got to really set our blocks better than we have the last two weeks.
How do you manage splitting carries? I mean, is there a certain dynamic and a certain strategy of getting the ball to Cyrus and Christian Michael since they're such 2 feature backs?
Well, I think the biggest thing when you look at it, those guys make it easy for me because they cheer for each other. They're good friends off the field. And really when I go into it, obviously Cyrus is the starter and he touches the ball a lot. But when you have a guy in Christian Michael, he knows he's going to get his touches. But there's no rhyme or reason why we take guys in and out. Obviously, if one guy gets hot, you're going to leave him in. But the thing that's great about Christian Michael, he is so dynamic. He's like the microwave from the Detroit Pistons. You put him in there and it's like instant offense. So we're glad to have those 2 guys working in combination together.
What did you say to him when he put the ball on the
carpet? What do you think I said? I was pretty upset.
Yeah.
We don't do that. We try to take care of the football. We never switch the ball in traffic, and that's what happened. And his track, and that's what we talked about, is his track was too wide on that particular play. And just that little thing, being just a little bit, a half yard off of your track when you're running the football, it can really screw you up, and it did, and it cost us a possession. And to say the least, we were upset, but we move on and get ready for a good Oklahoma State team.
Would you like to see Cyrus hit his gaps a little bit harder? I know he came into the podium and said he was looking to lose some weight. Would you like to see him run harder? Would you like to see him run faster?
Well, I think the biggest thing when you look at him, he's a patient runner. He's a little bit of a slasher. But the thing is, we've talked about it, and his tempo has to pick up in the run game. And really what that means is we have different tempos for different plays. And so for him, 75% is too slow. I want him at 85%, so he's got a little bit of nitro, press the nitro button to get through the hole. And so that's what we're looking to really improve this week.
And what have you seen from the offensive line so far? Those guys have done really good at times of putting creating holes, and sometimes they look like they need to gel a little bit more.
Well, I think the biggest thing when you look at you still looking at the 2 tackles.
Yeah.
I mean, they're sophomores. Yeah. They're still babies, and but they're athletic babies now. They're good players. And you look at Clink, he's really starting for the first time. So you still got that gel issue that's going on. But I think the biggest thing is we played 2 games. And really right now is you want to show that leap from the first game to the second game to the third game. I'm excited about this game, and our line is good. But we just got to continue to gel and continue to mesh and making all the different calls, and we'll be fine.
First time, and I believe since 1975, 2 teams have been at it at Kyle Field, 2 top 10 teams. Now, how do you does it automatically get you up for that game, knowing what's at stake, and how big could this be for, the recruiting side of things for you guys?
Well, 2 things. First, to answer that question, is if you got to get yourself jacked up for this game, I don't want you out there in the beginning, because you're talking about a chance to put yourself in a position to win a Big 12 championship. You've got one of the best teams in the country at your place in front of the 12th man. You can't script it any better. And then the thing you got to understand is that this game for recruiting, it don't get any better because you're going to always run into Oklahoma State, who does a great job in Texas. And I think when you look at those 2 factors, it's going to be a good night. It's going to be a good night for football, and I'm just hoping that we have a big crowd and we can come out on the top end of this.
Now, Oklahoma State will put up big numbers, but they'll also give up big numbers. I mean, are you looking forward to, maybe going in there and keep smashing the ball down up the middle until they can stop it? If they do try to stack the box, your offense is still going to be able to put up points through the air.
Well, I think the biggest thing when you look at their offense, they have put up numbers and we've put up numbers, but a lot of times what happens is you get into a dogfight. Yeah. You get into a dogfight, and it becomes, at the end of the day, who has the ball last. Well, you may get in a dogfight in terms of just defensively. But I think the biggest thing is for us is that if we execute and we do what we need to do, and we'll be fine. We'll be fine.
With a loss on the roster and Mr. Jones, how much important is it for you guys to go and add some more depth to this class? You've already got some good guys committed right now, but how important is it to go and maybe find a bigger back and add to the dynamic of this?
It's important, Taylor. It's important. I think the biggest thing you got to understand is that Cyrus Gray is going to be gone, and Christian Michael, he's going to be a senior, and then you got some other guys that's committed, which I can't say their names, but the thing is we've got to get another guy, and to provide depth, and we're always looking in recruiting to upgrade at every position. And I think that's what makes the good teams better and great every year in out, in terms of just making sure that every year when you look at a player, can he come help you win a championship? And that's what we're trying to do, is find depth and somebody that can provide us that ability to run the football down the road. When
you talk to some of these elite running backs, what are some of the things that you sell them about Texas A&M?
Well, I think the biggest thing, you look at our line, you look at our for a while now, okay, we had running the football. Okay, everybody wants to run the football, but we have a line that's going to be here for a while. I mean, we're deep at that position, and as long as you have Coach Sherman, he's a line coach, so he's going to recruit good at that position, and you obviously want to run behind good offensive linemen. I think the other thing you sell to them is myself. I mean, I've only coached one position. I've only played one position, that's running back. And I think I'm good at what I do in terms of trying to teach guys the final points of running the football. And I think the biggest thing is our 12th man and being able to play in a stadium where it's going to be sold out and you're going to have an opportunity to win a Big 12 championship and get a great education from Texas A&M.
What are some of the more difficult things about the recruiting trail? You got a tough area in East Texas, and the different dynamics and personalities out there. What are some of the things that are challenging to coaches like yourself?
Well, I think the biggest thing is when you really look at the landscape of recruiting, it is 24/7. It's like it never stops. That's right. I'll just give you a promo. It never stops. Yeah. And now recruiting has sped up so much. The difficult part is really getting on those kids early enough where when they're sophomores or even freshmen, that they know who you are as a coach and as a program. Because now everything is instant. Whereas it used to be you had to go to a school, ask the coach for a transcript, ask the coach for a DVD. Now everything is email, everything is online. So it's instant accessibility to that kid. So that's what makes it tough.
To other coaches too.
That's right. Yeah. And coaches from out of state, they come in and get kids out of the state of Texas. So it's a foot race to see who can get that offer out first. Because if you're late with an offer, a lot of kids, they look, well, where were you? Yeah. Well, you were only a sophomore. Well, such and such team offered me when I was a freshman verbally. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah. So it's a race, a foot race, basically, to see if you can get on a kid the quickest.
Well, let's talk about special teams and how would you evaluate your responsibility of special teams?
Well, I'll tell you, our kickoff return unit is real close. Yeah. It's real close. We thought we was going to come close to breaking one against Idaho. We've only had a couple of returns so far because our defense is playing so well. But I'm really excited about Judy and Campbell. Oh, I'm so excited about him. Yeah. But we've got some weapons back there. My field goal unit, our first week, took a hit. It was blocking one of the premier guys in terms of field goal protection. So we've kind of cleaned that up, and so hopefully we can make a big impact on this game in the return game and in the field goal unit game.
What would your message be to the 12th man to get out there? It's a 2:30 game. We know what's all at stake, but what would be kind of your message to them?
Well, I think the biggest thing, come jacked up, come energized.
Yeah.
If you come late, well, don't come late.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they won't. But if you don't have enough energy, enough juice, grab that guy that's beside you, that girl, and use your arms like jumper cables and get some juice from them, because this is going to be an exciting venue. And I believe I'm not sure it's going to be a 2:30 game, national televised, I believe. Yes. And so we want to make sure that we represent around the nation what the 12th man and what Texas A&M is all about.
All right, thank you, Coach. Stick to Gig'em247.com for all your latest Texas A&M news.
All right, good.